that George Harris, some say Leroy Harris, who is the owner of the private bar entertainment center, has been charged with the following: unlicensed possession of illicit drug substances, unlicensed importation of illicit drugs or substances, trafficking, trading, distribution, and sales of illicit drugs or substances, economic sabotage, money laundering, criminal conspiracy, criminal facilitation, and criminal solicitation. Mr. Harris has already been charged as the investigation continues.
I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. I can't stand no more, cause I'm a fool. I cannot go to school, cause no more money. Hey yo, excuse me, Mr. Journalist, I wonder how you make your headlines in the press release today. Although I read the news every day, but I'm really still getting confused now, and I just wanna ask you some questions. Oh, is it based on money? Is it based on presidents?
Indeed, pleasant good evening from Liberia. This is the round table live on Wizz TV. Exactly 3 minutes past 10 o'clock here in Liberia. We'd like to welcome all of you to today's presentation. Today is August 6th, 2026, and my name is William McGill. We have a lot of things on our playlist tonight. We will be paying host to the founder and CEO of Woods General Services Holding Liberia, and also the National Safety Partnership of Liberia. He's going to be here to talk about his institution as well as their operation. We will talk about that later time. We were running with our own discussions on the program. So all you can do, stay tuned as we run through with the program here uh, tonight. Let me say good evening to Mr. Phillips Woos, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Uh, could you mind introducing yourself and tell your joining of how you became the founder and services holding Liberia and the National Safety Partnership of Liberia?
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Philip Woods. I'm a native Liberian. Um, Born and raised in Monrovia, Liberia, and I migrated to the U.S. in 2010. And my migration to the USA was based on uh, the background of my conviction to get involved with what was being seen as a crisis for me, a road safety, road accident. Um, that was motivated by the proliferation or the popularity of commercial motorcycles on the streets and highway of Liberia between 2006 and 2008. So that was when I got involved and tried to establish a motorcycle safety training program, since indeed the motorcyclist was seems to be the most vulnerable road users at the time. So that's how the vision of Woods General Services came into being. No audio. I'm not hearing you.
Sorry. Let's talk about the core services provided, by the Woods General Services and how they contribute to Liberia's development.
Okay, so uh, Woods General Services, for short, called WOJS. Initially, when we started in 2008, it was focused on providing motorcycle safety training program or education for the motorcyclists. But as we formulated the institution, we decided to do some research as to the availability of a curriculum, a training curriculum. Because when we did the assessment, we realized that all the driving schools in Monrovia at the time, though they were not mandatory to teach, or going to a driving school was not mandatory by government. You indeed, before someone gets a driver's lesson, they should go to a driving school, get satisfied before obtaining a lesson. So all the driving schools, when we did our survey, were all holder of substandard, what we call substandard curriculum, meaning everybody were producing their own pamphlets here and there. And we saw that to be a confusion or a contribution to the crisis, because everybody teaching their own, uh, 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 their own, teaching from their own curriculum. So,
Yeah, their own lesson.
yeah, their own lesson plan, all that kind of stuff. Anybody could just wake up and say he's a driver trainer, and not knowing the implication thereafter. You teach someone behind the house, or you teach someone with Huawei school, and then they get on the street, they don't know the rules of the road. And I like to use myself as an example. I started driving in Liberia at the age of, on the street at the age of 21. So I drove in Liberia for about 24 years before coming to the States. In those 24 years, I drove in Monrovia, though I was not involved in any accident or major accident. But it didn't mean I was a driver. I was a novice. And I only realized that when I came to the States, you know. But I have come to the States basically, purposely, because I had realized that Liberia was limited, Liberia was behind time, because those things that require qualifying a person to be a driver or to be a motorcyclist, we were nowhere around. And then in my research, I was able to come across a lot of American institutions, and associations, businesses that were involved or into driver's education, motorcycle safety training, what have you. And when I got to some of these organizations, like what they call the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, that is institution that the American government used for bilateral training program, because all along the Americans have been the one training the Liberian National Police motorcyclists. So they take people from this institution, send them around the world to go and train newer riders and what have you. And most of the guys that train people from this institution are veterans. Some, retired veterans from the police, from the army, from the Marine Corps, and what have you. So when I did all the research, I got in touch with this institution, and reached out to them, asked them that, look, we're having a situation in Liberia where we need some intervention, we need, some training opportunities, and then they said, no, we can't. I kept, harassing them. So one day the president sent me an email, and he said to me, fill out this form, let's see whether your country is eligible, then we'll see if we can consider. And when they sent me the form, I would take these forms to some public institutions like the Ministry of Transport, the police, and what have you, to see if they could validate. But on the sad side, all these institutions that I went to, I couldn't get anybody attention. So I did what I could do. Excuse me. And one of the things that people were concerned about is funding, how the training would be funded. And in the States here, the way the organizations are funded is based on the fact that stakeholders, people that sell motorcycles, people that sell vehicles, they are the ones that contribute funding to these organizations to be able to sustain them, to be able to train more new riders. But in the case of Liberia, we could not find anybody, even outside government or in government, that was interested to pay attention. The only person that gave us small attention was the police chief at the time, Mona C. Brown, you know. But then we didn't get much. So that compared me to leave everything I was doing in Liberia to come to the United States. And I am joyful to say today that today, August 6th, makes me 15 years, 11 months in the United States since I left Liberia to come in the diaspora to seek knowledge, to seek opportunities, to see how we can institute a professional international standard driver's education program in Liberia.
Now let's talk about work space safety, which remains major challenge in many sectors. How is your organization working to improve occupational health and safety standards across Liberia, along with partnering with the government as well?
Well, our program, our vision for what we have experienced over the years, we are now wholly and solely looking up to government for a financial partnership. We know how things work in Liberia. So our mindset towards this venture has been community driven, how we can work along with the community that are being affected by these challenges. And we think maybe in the process, government will see our effort, and maybe if they want to contribute, they can contribute. But to be honest with you, the vision behind these ventures are not relying on government for funding or for financing. And not that we don't want it, but we know the government is being challenged, and the government got a whole lot to take care of. So our focus is to make our program all community partnership driven. All right. So we had developed a lot of programs. We had developed, from the Wizz perspective, we had developed driving schools. We had developed online driver education program in compliance with American standard. We had developed through our nonprofit organization, the National Safety Partnership Program. We had developed several different programs to be able to meet up with all the different age groupings, political or social status of people, regardless of age. We had developed programs because our mission here is to make sure Liberia becomes safety compliance. And when we talk about safety is very comprehensive. There are so much that has to do with public safety in Liberia. It's not just about road accident. It's not just about deaths on the road and what have you. Well, public safety has to do with election. Public safety has to do with economic stability. Public safety has to do with health and well-being. So we had developed different programs to meet up with different group of people. And the way we want to do this program, our focus people are the motorcyclists. The motorcyclists are our focus group to work with. And the reason is they are the more vulnerable people. They are the largest civil organization or civil groups that you can talk about. They cover the 15 counties. They cover the 73 political subdivisions of the country. So we want to work along with these people as public safety ambassadors. It is challenging because the mindset of our people are different. When you come with what you call a nonprofit undertaking or a NGO, the first thing that comes to their mind is money. How can they get money from this institution? Whether you are bringing free money, whether you are bringing something that they will benefit from directly, you know. So over the years, we have developed, we had, how you call it? We have structured Liberia into 3 regions: Region 1, 2, and 3, each region consisting of 5 counties. And we established chapter in all the counties. And then we are taking our time to recruit counties and regional coordinators because we are looking for people. Some of the people that come around, they think that you are there to take them from where they are, So, we're getting there gradually. It's slow, but it's kind of encouraging.
What that one message you could send out there to, people listening to you in terms of your workings, in terms of encouragement for partnership? What could you say to somebody listening to you right now?
One significant message to every Liberian is no group of people can develop Liberia other than we, the Liberian people. We, the Liberian people, are the only ones that can. But that in society will be chaotic. And that is what you see happening in Monrovia. Every day, people are challenging the government because the government failed to provide the people public information.
Let's talk about some new programs that the public should expect from your organization. You spoke about motorcyclists. We now also have the keke riders that we call tricyclists that are also in traffic. What are some new programs? What are some trainings that you are thinking about, having very soon that the general public, motorcyclists, vehicle drivers can be able to benefit from?
Thank you. Fortunately for us, like I said, we could not do anything. We could not function because Liberia never had a curriculum. Liberia never had a regulation to govern these sectors. That's the road safety sector. In every civilized country, pedestrian, human being, has a regulation, like vehicles. In every civilized society, passengers has a regulation and policy to govern them. Car drivers, motorcyclists, tricyclists, bicyclists, bicyclists, scooters, scooterers, and what you call keke, they all should have a guideline. They all should have a policy. Now, we got to be grateful today that Liberia have all these things at hand. The international community, the World Bank, UN, African Development Bank, a lot of friendly donor countries to Liberia invested so much money during the past 5 years or 6 years to provide and produce for Liberia these policies. Today, Liberia have curriculum for all the 9 subjects that I talk about. Heavy duty equipment operators, heavy vehicles operators, car drivers. There is now a curriculum in Liberia that we can say, yes, we got something to regulate our people. So what our institution is doing, as I speak to you today, is we are working along with the Driving School Association to see how we can synchronize, how we can have one standard driver education book in the country. The government had done so much. We cannot wait till the government had taken us to the river. So the government cannot compare us to drink. So we are in partnership with the Association of Driving Schools of Liberia, the leadership. We're trying to see how we can standardize and come up with one driver education program that will be circulated in all the schools, meaning we will have one book. That's how it is done in America. That's how it is done in all civilized country. If you go to what we will call in the States here, the motor vehicle, I mean, the same thing in Liberia, calling DMV for short, Division of Motor Vehicles. We have that in Liberia at the Ministry of Transport. So by right, the government should be the one that will provide and produce this material and have it there for the public to consume. But we know the government don't have the capacity to do. So our company has taken that initiative to partnership with the Driving Schools Association, to partner with the Motorcycle Association, partner with the truck driver, all the association that has to do with the roads. We are, forming partnership with this institution so that we can all sit and synchronize what our people need to learn. And we will all work together to make sure we can promote these things, these popular information, so we all can consume it. Now, if we all consume it, it's obvious that we will gradually get ourselves adapted and start to get to reduce the way, the bad ways or the careless way we conduct ourselves on the roads, in public places, on the highway, and what have you. So those are the things that we are doing as I speak to you now.
Thank you so much. Quickly, we're about to take leave of you. Let's get your concluding statement before we part ways on the program.
Well, first of all, I want to express my gratitude to your CEO, Mr. Wizz. To find people like him in our community is kind of difficult. And how did I get in touch? All right, I was trying to get in touch with you for the fact that I was trying to get in touch with the president or the leadership of the National
Some truckers, yeah,
Collaborating Truckers Association. So
association.
I couldn't get in touch with you. That's how I got in touch with him, and he was able to link me with you. But getting in touch with him, it was not to utilize the opportunity I have today by being on your platform. We just had a little chat. I just introduced myself to him and was telling him thank you for what he's doing in Liberia. And I briefly told him about my own program, my own initiative in Liberia. And I guess he got impressed. He said, but then Mr. Woods, we can give you access to our platform because what you're doing is no different from what we are doing. And I really want to say to you, I am grateful. And I want to use this opportunity to call on other Liberians, you know, that will provide our people access to education. What you are doing here today, you are providing access of education to our people. If our people don't have access to information, Liberia cannot be safe. For some of us, that's what we are interested in. We grew up in a safe Liberia. We experienced it. I'm 60 years old, 61 years old. So, I mean, I spent maybe over 40 years of my life in a stable environment. Now, I'm living 20 plus years in a hazardous, environment, a chaotic environment. Am I pleased about it? No, I'm not pleased about it. I would have been like other Liberians, come to America, work, make my money, go build my house, take a car to Liberia and chill, enjoy myself. But the question I ask myself, what good will it do me if I go to Liberia, buy a car, then I'm living in a house where I have to be living behind heavy iron bar because I'm afraid of the people in my community? It really wouldn't serve me. So, in conclusion, I want to extend my gratitude to the management of this institution for the opportunity. And I hope we can, have this opportunity again so that we can be able to transmit our information to the Liberian public. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we hope to have you as always once the need arises. It's a pleasure, Mr. Philip Woods.
Thank you ever so much, and have a great day.
He, okay, he's Philip E. P. Woods, and he's the founder and chief executive officer of these two organizations right here, the National Safety Partnership of Liberia, NASAPA Incorporated, and also the Woods General Services, WAGG's Holding Liberia Incorporated. Uh, is wonderful, right? That we give out the platform to people to be able to come out and talk about things that are very important and cardinal for our audience to be able to listen and get the knowledge, get the information to them. Again, my name is William McGill. We will take a short break. Right after this break, once we get back, we can run into our program. Also, our show is open for partnership in terms of sponsorship of business. We will advertise your business right on the show. Every time once we arrive here, we'll advertise unlimited advertisement for you once you're in partnership with us for your institution. We are definitely going to do that. Let's take this short break. Right after this, we'll come back and take today in history, take our news there from the BBC, and go to our next talking point.
Raise your hand up. Read your story. There's no job, no money for hustlers. How many people do you love, man? How many people do you cherish? How many people do you help out there? Most especially women. No job, no money. No girls, no glory. No help for poor men. That's what we know. How many people do you love? How many people do you cherish?
How many people do you love, and how many people do you actually cherish? Right there is the round table. My name is William McGill. Thanks to all of you for following us on the program tonight. Let's take our news from the BBC. After that, we will run you through with our today in history and go for our talking points. This is the BBC. It says thousands of migrants still in Sital after border crisis, local leader says. Outage as Ugandan football captain beaten to death in street gang attack. The 27-year-old was killed by suspected robbers after resisting an attempt to rob him, police says. Nigerian security forces rescue more than 300 abductees. The government says the rescue is the country's largest single day operation by joint security forces. South Africa plans new rules on ex leaders' foreign trips after Zuma's visit to India. Jacob Zuma was pictured with a businessman allegedly at the heart of a corruption scandal in South Africa. And let's see if we have an editorial we're gonna take right here. It says Thales, Nigeria did removed from water as South African star face backslash. Nigerians urged Tyler to cancel her concert in Lagos over anti-migrant protests in South Africa. Uh, interesting, very interesting, right? Yeah, it's very very interesting. Let's now run you through with our today in history. Right after that, we get back to the program, and yeah, we can go ahead with other things here on the program. So today in history, uh, August 6, 1825, Bolivia gained independence from Spain after years of fighting during the South American Wars of Independence. Today in history, August 6, 1945, the United States dropped the automatic bomb Little Boy, a Hiroshima, Japan, becoming the first use of a nuclear weapon in war. Around 70,000 people were killed instantly, with many more dying later from injuries and radiation. The event is commemorated annually as Hiroshima Day. Today in history, August 6, 1962, Jamaica officially became independent from the United Kingdom, making the birthplace of the modern Jamaican nation. I see why they be talking to British people. Eh? Wagwan. British. Mean brethren. Yeah. Today in history, August 6, 1965, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act, a landmark civil rights law that prohibited ra- radical discrimination in voting. And finally, today in history, August 6, 2012, NASA's Curiosity rover successfully landed on Mars, beginning one of the most important planetary exploration mission in history. And our quote for today: those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayan. That's it there for today in history. Yeah. What is it? Let's run through with few of these things we want to talk about. Um, let's we want to right. Let's talk quickly on some of these things. Right. Today, the Liberian leader, President Bouaka, commemorated marshals from the judiciary, and I want to. 3 hours ago, not this. Let me see what I can do. I just want to play that clip, and then we can go ahead with whatever conversation here, right? From there, we'll look at the issue of brand tap. A lot of things happening. A lot. Don't say brand tap issue. That's social. That's social issue now. We know 'em, pa. Why is it the yeah? Jeez, I want to play this on the show. I don't know, and I don't want to download this clip again. Okay,
Our soon
there
to
it is.
be mission judges there's a course Martians,
Hmm. Sorry to sleep, oh. I ain't used to.
Chief Justice,
Mm.
members of the judiciary,
But I don't know why I'm not
family and
getting
friends.
the audio. And yeah, so the president commemorate the marches, and this is. Let me just read this for you, right? And a lot of things happening. So he commissioned judges for us, to take action on drugs and corruption. The issue of this whole drug thing is is a long thing. Of recent, we saw the Minister of Information reading the charges against the owner of Private Bar in Pinsville, and today during the commission ceremony, President Waka, spoke about uh, the issue of drugs, and he told the members of the judiciary to ensure that the case or cases are handled fairly and without unnecessary delays, saying timely justice is essential to preventing offenders from escaping accountability. And one key thing said. in this thing again was the fact of the drug issue. The president said, and I quote, there will be no scare cows. No one who engages in criminal activities will be permitted to hide behind poverty, public office, political influence, business interests, yeah, family connections, or any other protection of authority. So whether you are a government official, a law enforcement officer, a businessman, a custom broker, or any ordinary citizen, the law must be applied. Fair enough. And the thing about this 19,317,000,000 drug thing is the fact that it's from one case to another, one case to another, one individual being caught to book to another, and so forth, so forth. And again, all we say about this is the fact that government should be able to hold these people accountable. You see, people names are being called, and again, other things are happening. We even saw today the minister from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs went to the Ministry of Information and Press Briefing and went to clear her side about accusation of her involvement into the drug situation as force. And she said the situation of her being accused falsely is a threat to the country's international reputation. And she stated that she remained fully, along with the president, remain fully committed to combating narcotics through lawful investigation rather than public speculation. And there's a lot, right? The thing about it is we are having more names coming out every single day, every meeting, every hour, every week. And I feels like I don't know if I'm the only person who feels in that manner or in that way, right? There's not much being done with the investigation. So it's almost like in the sense of the 19 million worth of drugs when people call out the government to call the names of these individuals. It was something that went to a whole round different level. And later, we saw people outside of the security sector started releasing um, evidence. And later on, the Minister of Justice had a press conference, and then names were being released. And now, the entire names being called out, people being brought to book, seems to be like, okay, the first situation. These people wanted us to call names. Now we are calling names. But let's see the aspect of the prosecution. Like the president said on today, there's no need to be slow. The justice system shouldn't be slow with these kind of cases, especially when the public is interested in knowing how far that case is going or how well the case is going in terms of the judicial system. You should be as fast as possible to be able to speak to people and informing the public about these things, right? Inform the public about these things. And it's important. It's important that the public gets to understand all of these things. All of these things. It's important. We cannot have all these things happening, and yeah, again, people name have been caught and blah 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 blah. Whatever happens, happens, and everything is, yeah, of course, of course. But the thing is, come out and have a, you know, a fair, perfect investigation. Let people get to hear what exactly is happening in terms of the investigation. It's not always just about the names of those involved. It's also about people coming out. So let's listen to this too.
If every allegation made on the radio automatically resulted in an arrest, innocent people will have their reputations destroyed without justification, and the justice system itself will lose its credibility. Our responsibility is to determine whether there is credible information that can be independently verified and whether the available evidence establishes probable cause for further investigative or prosecutorial action. Where credible evidence exists,
So that's the uh, Minister of Justice there speaking at the press briefing. And let's take this too as well, right? And but again, like I said, it is what it is, and that's another great way to, you know, look at things. Especially, we all know that this is like burial, and it is what it is. But again,
she's serving, I'll be serving the water. That's why I spend the whole day there in the evening time cool, me and her cool together in the morning because she's selling coconut factory. Recently she started selling coconut factory. So normally I can run traffic in there. So in the day I can go sit down to help them to help the food stuff and to one or two things. When she finish cooking it out, while she's serving, I'll be serving the water. That's why I spend the whole day there in the evening time cool, me and her cool together in the morning. Go out there, the other horse, I go traveling. So certain night we had noticed that there the period dinner is my government all living together. She one I'm a account the road. And the name using on Facebook, according gender jack. Yeah, like name using on Facebook and get balling, blagging complexion, short, a perega. Yeah, so in his account it was now in kind of where that in bad liquor. He ain't very massive and they be drinking, but all thing is because that now small child a big person. Yeah, so I'm really till that no be there. He ain't really laughing. So one time I be there, I say, oh, Brady, the way that make account.
so that's he's Augustine T. Lender, and he's the suspect in the killing of a 19-year-old girl, Darius P. In the Soul Clinic area. I'm being told. Hope I'm very correct about that. Uh, Clearing aside, explaining aside the story on yesterday when he was extradited back to Liberia. from Sierra Leone. So let's get the full think about this.
Really. So yin be loving that. And each time you count the rules on that, when you count the rule that, so now then you not count the rule you may for or have ten over the hall. Attend the surprise over the hall. So me last Sunday, I tell the oh, if I win going or she say she won't go over me. She say I ain't get happy that go over me. I say, but the way saying get happy that go over that go on travel, but not go nowhere. She say I ain't get no happy that go on going nowhere. I love it that. I want one came I say, oh, baby, what a fool you cause I ain't get a fool, but she say, Uncle, no fool. Uncle, no food, nothing like that. I said, but they're saying you could no food and I gave you 1,000 naira for the full money. And at any time I gave you money back over the year. Then at 2,000 naira, you just share it, give me 1,000 naira, take 1,000 naira for yourself. I got already back close for you. So yeah, share it, take 1,000, give me 1,000 naira for myself. Share that. I just say get money. Or friends say against as many to say and cost and as many no say oh pay the thing you do no boy ain't good oh. The boy ain't give you money to cover you careful for your parents on here like you going to everything back close to it. She say but you lead that boy in here fair you just good and you do anything. Share that who left you on to in at about jogging way. Just left it. I left I won't travel. Everything. She left onto the horse that Sunday she and the man went off. She and the gentle jagger. They went all everything. He came back Monday again, which are the celebration of the ASL on Monday. Yeah, in the morning, we left to the horse.
The video in Sierra Leone, I was like, wow. And I listened to the guy's side of the story. Now you can judge the living and the dead. The dead is the dead. Nobody gonna go there to ask the girl. Only what her people sees. That's exactly what they would say. The thing about it is learn to manage your anger issue. You're a young fellow, bro. And let me say this. Sometimes trauma is a really bad thing. To the point that you would think of how far you and that person have come. The level of help, your finances and everything you've spent and whatever. But again, it's the fact that you cannot basically, um, how you call it, basically um, take someone's life because you're jealous. Of course, they get us jealous woman, uncle, jealous sick and kill. That's exactly what happens. He said, "Oh, okay." They went into noise for 26 because he observed that the girl or actually started cheating, and then she slept with a man, please, man, call a whole lot of different things. Afterward, they get came for some of her clothes. It's her clothes, or even if she comes to take her clothes, let her take her material leave, bro. In fact, you guys are not married. Sometimes I not blame these people that will take innocent people life. I blame the way their parents will take these things because of the situation. You see somebody out there trying to give $1,000 and stuff like that to your family, and you feel like that's enough. They are done for you and your family, and you gave your 19-year-old daughter to that individual. He might not have meant for her to die in the process, rather, but it happens. Maybe, or maybe that is something that he already planned. Who knows? No one. In a nutshell, as human, it is very important that you be able to manage all of your anger, that you are able to let things slide. It's not everything you're going to take action, because the action you are taking when you're angry, you will regret after taking it. You young man, you got so many years ahead. Now, if you are guilty for whatever situation, you are going to spend some years, good number of years in prison. That is if and only if you are spending those years in prison. At the end of the day, your life will be wasted. So instead of you doing this and even allowing somebody else's family to grieve because you've caused them pain, you learn to manage your anger. Of course, she's a very young fine girl that you sent to an early grave. Do you know what exactly she could have done for her family? All because of act of jealousy. All because of the act of jealousy. And you're explaining how the situation happened. Fair enough. Fair enough that you are able to explain how the situation happened. Fair enough that you can say what you want to say. And I say fair enough because those are things that we shouldn't even be happy for. So let me read his charge, right? The Liberia National Police has formally charged Augustine Lender, commonly known as Tibor, with the crime of murder in connection with the death of Orito P. in the Omega Ofield community, Pinsville. Okay, I get it right, Omega Ofield. According to the police charge sheet, the alleged incident occurred on 29 July 2026 at approximately 8:15 p.m. The victim was discovered approximately 26 feet from the accused resident, bearing multiple injuries and showing no signs of life. Preliminary investigation revealed that the victim's mother, Alice Flomo, informed investigators that her daughter had gone to the accused resident to retrieve personal clothing but never returned home. The investigation further established that the accused had allegedly assaulted the victim on a previous occasion, a matter that formed part of the evidence review by investigators. Following the investigation, Augustine Lender was arrested in the Republic of Sierra Leone and subsequently turned over to Liberian authorities. He has been formally charged with murder in violation of Section 14.1 of the new penal law of Liberia and forwarded to court for prosecution in accordance with the law. Aye there, Augustine. So again, for and on behalf of the management and staff here at Wizz TV, we'd like to appreciate all of our viewers. Thanks to Mr. Philip. He's been our guest here on the program. We're hoping to have guests as usual as we can and always as we can on the show. This is the roundtable. We come on Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. Liberia time, 6 p.m. in the US. Wherever you're joining us from, my name is William McGill. Good night, and I'm out. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.
He say based on money, he say based on presidency, he say based on technology, he say based on war. Tell me, we got major headlines. Oh, we got major stories. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. We got major headlines. We got major stories. Yeah. There is no job, no money for hustlers. Come take up coverage. The rainy season coming soon. In the ghetto, all the houses are full.